Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video, I'll be showing you guys all I did in Montenegro for 5 whole days. So this is just my final outfit check just before I headed off to the train station. I went to the train station and I was on my journey to Gatwick Airport here. I was listening to some music, just enjoying myself. I got to Gatwick Airport and wow, it's quite a big airport. I mean, I've only been to a few airports in my life and it's quite big. So I was just trying to while away time while waiting for the time to check in. I was on my way to check in here and I had a mask on because I was having some flu symptoms. I finished checking in. We were on our way so we could start to board our flight. Our flight was a bit delayed though, so we had to wait for a few minutes before we could start boarding our flights. This was when we were about to take off. They were just doing their final checks at this point. And then after the final checks and all the just to make sure that all is well and fine and good, we were on our way in the air. And yeah, the skyline is beautiful. We got to Podgorica in Montenegro. I disembarked from the airplane and I was waiting for my friends to come join me. Oh my god, it was hot. The sun was blazing. This is the Podgorica airport. We were leaving so we could find the driver who's going to take us to accommodation where we'll be staying for the next 5 days. So on our way to the accommodation, we decided that it would be nice to just drop our bags first before we find something to eat because we were hungry. We had not eaten since the previous day. I mean, for me, I was really really hungry. So I was just in the car. It was hot. It was like 39 degrees Celsius. I was hungry, sleep deprived, hot, tired. Oh my god. In fact, it was a long journey. So we got to the hotel, we dropped our bags, the hosts were nice, they were welcoming. We found a nice spot in the restaurant where in the town where we could get some nice food. We decided to take some pictures while away time while waiting for our food to get ready. And see my eyes, I look tired, as you can see. Then we decided to stop at Burger King to get some dinner on our way back. And we're on our way back to our accommodation just to eat and rest for the day and to continue the next journey the next day. So this is day 2 of our 5 days journey to Montenegro. We woke up very early so that we could catch the 8 a.m. bus from Podgorica to Kotor. And the bus was quite comfortable. We hadn't had breakfast. It was hot outside, but at least the AC was on. And at a point, I think I started sleeping because I hadn't slept well the previous night and I was just tired, but the AC was really cooling. It was quite nice, and I mean it was a long journey just to travel from one city to another, but I think it was worth it. So we got to the city of Kotor. We were just exploring the city because we still had a bit of time before we could go on a boat ride to Mamula Island, Lady of the Rocks, Submarine Tunnel, and Blue Cave. We were just exploring the city at this point. We had lots of big ships coming in because the city has a large body of water surrounding it. So we had lots of ships. We decided to look for the person who was going to take us for a boat ride. We are supposed to have a meeting point, but when we got there was no one. So we eventually found the person, and this was when we were about to embark in on our boat ride. I was just scared because I didn't know how to swim, and they said there were life jackets, but we weren't given one. I don't know if we were supposed to request for one, and they also bottled waters were also part of the package that we paid for, the whole package. So it was hot outside, and this was my first time entering a speedboat, but I had quite a nice seat. I sat next to the driver, and I think it was better or more comfortable than my friends, as it got quite bumpy, as you can see, and the sun was blazing hot, so it really affected my friends. So this is when we were stalling at a point. We were waiting for someone who was going to get us fuel. That was the driver's responsibility though, so we were just waiting at a point. And So the first place we stopped at was the submarine tunnel. This was built during the war. Our tour guide told us a lot about the history and how it came into being and how it's still standing to now. We went into the submarine tunnel and lots of boats were turning around because there weren't enough space for all the boats to turn around. So we had to wait for other boats to turn around to continue the journey. It was quite dark and cold inside. Our tour guide was very knowledgeable and he told us a lot about the history.
He built 3 fortresses.
I'm sure he's done this a number of times,
left,
that's why.
One in the middle and one on the right side or behind us in Croatia. The purpose was to protect the bay and to keep enemy away. In the First World War, Mamula was turned as a prison. Luxurious hotel. Heliodrome, swimming pools, casino, who knows what else. On the other side, you can see the big holes in.
After the Mamula Island, we went to see the Blue Cave. This was a cave that the waters were really blue. I mean, I thought there was probably something underneath, maybe at the bottom of the floor of the ocean that was like emitting that blue hue, as you can see. It was really beautiful and really nice. And we had a lot of people that even went in to swim, but I don't know how to swim, so neither do my friends. And we didn't have any life jackets, so we didn't want to risk it. It was really, really nice. You can see that lots of boats came in to see this. And I think this is just one of the beauty of nature. Our boat tour guide slash driver gave us the opportunity to enjoy this beauty and to swim, to experience it. So he decided to wait for a few minutes. Lots of people were swimming. They were having a good time, taking pictures while we just sat inside the boat. So we decided to go back, began our journey back to explore other places. We still had a few, one or two places to go, like the Lady of the Rocks and other places. So this was when we began our journey to go to Lady of the Rocks. It's like an island with...
Lady of the Rock artificial island, built by Venetians. In 1630 they finished island, 1720 they finished church. Nowadays it's a church and museum. So if you wish, you can go inside, €2 per person. Also, smaller house.
We were on Lady of the Rocks right now, and the driver told us that we had just like 10-15 minutes to explore and then come back to the boat so we could go back to where we're coming from. It was a nice island. It had a church, it had some shops. Lots of people came to see the church, but I didn't know what to do inside the church. And we didn't even have enough time to actually explore. So we just sat there waiting for our friend who had entered the church while licking ice cream. Someone helped us to pick something from the floor, which was nice of him. We began our journey back to where we started from. It was faster and the ride was much easier and less bumpier than when we first began. We were tired, we were hungry, we were thirsty. Lots of us wanted to pee. This was when we were at the marina. Our 3-hour boat ride had ended and we were about to go back to Podgorica to catch our bus. And this was when we were at the bus station waiting for the bus to go back. It was around 5 p.m. in the evening. We were very hungry and it was quite hot. We were in Podgorica waiting for our driver to take us back to our accommodation. We found him, so we were going to meet him. We were all tired, hungry, stressed out, but at least we were back home. And it was a nice experience. So it's day 3 of my 5-day trip in Montenegro. We started the day off by having some healthy breakfast. I got some orange juice, some bread, some eggs, some salami, some cucumbers. This is like a typical Montenegrin breakfast. We got cereal, we've got milk, we've got orange juice, we've got different variety of food to choose from. Then we decided to go to a resort where we're going to swim and just relax and have a nice relaxing time. The resort was a bit of a distance from where we were currently staying. So it was like the outskirts of Podgorica and we're staying in the city. So we had to travel a bit of a distance to get to the resort. When we got there, it was a big place. It was beautiful. It cost us 18 euros. That's for like the standard plan. We didn't choose the basic plan, we chose the standard plan, which was close to the swimming pool. We paid, they gave us our key cards to access the changing rooms. They gave us a red watch thingy where you could use to open your lockers, and they told us not to make sure it doesn't get lost. If not, it's gonna cost us 10 euros to replace it. So we're going out to swim after changing. There's a place there where you can wash your feet before you step out of the swimming pool, so you don't, step into the swimming pool with dirty feet. It was a large place. I think they host events here sometimes. It was beautiful. I was just relaxing on the sun lounger. So I was just relaxing. I was enjoying the sun at a point, but then it got too hot, and I didn't want to come out on directly under the sun because it was really hot. You could see a lot of other people were actually enjoying the hot sun, so they wanted to get tanned. So most of them had like rub tanning creams on, and were just directly under the sun. But it was too hot for me. I had to cover myself with a towel at the point. I decided to enter into the pool at this point and just, let's try out the swimming thing. And because I've never in my life entered a pool, so I was like, oh, let me try. I didn't know how to swim, but I was like, I was gonna stay near the shallow part just to be safe, so there are no accidents or anything. Yeah, so I still did the shallow part. I swam a bit. I didn't go. I think went into the water a few times, but that was it. I was just very careful so I don't drown. So this was when we had finished. This was around 5:30 p.m. or 6:30 in the evening. So we were like, oh, let's start going back home. It was already getting late. The sun was setting. We had changed and we turned our key cards, and yeah, that's all for day 3. So it's day 4 in Montenegro, and we took another 3 hours bus ride from Podgorica to Kotor just so we could enter a cable car ride for 11 minutes. Can you believe that? So at first, we didn't know where it was located. We were using Google Maps to try to find where we're going to enter the cable car. But then we're now walking. And then eventually we found out that the walking was going to take 1 hour. So we were like, let's just take a taxi. And the taxi took us there in less than 30 minutes. When we got there, it was on the outskirts of Kotor near the mountains. It was quite a large place. There were lots of people there who wanted to enter the cable car ride. It was 23 euros for 11 minutes. So we paid by card and then we were on the cable car. It was actually quite nice and quite fun. I mean, it didn't even really seem like 11 minutes. It felt longer. And it was cooler inside the cable car. We were with two older couples who didn't really speak English. I don't think they spoke English. We were enjoying the view. We were looking at how everything was so small. It was as if we were in a plane because it was so high up at a point. And we could even see an airport from a far distance. I could see the plane taking off, but it looked quite small. Then we got to the highest points, which is the mountain, and where there were lots of shops and lots of activities to do and things to do. We were taking pictures. It was sunny, but not so sunny. I think maybe because it was cooler up on the mountain, which was really helpful. But I made sure I had my water bottle with me because I cannot be dehydrated. So we walked around for a bit. Then we saw a souvenir shop. We were like, let's go in and check in and see what we could buy. But it was quite pricey. I mean, for souvenir shop, well, I guess it's supposed to be pricey since we're tourists and all. We got some things. Well, basically, I just looked around and took some pictures. But my friend got some souvenirs to take home, but I didn't really see the point because they're quite pricey. It was really nice. And we took another 11 minutes cable car ride down the mountain, thus to where we were actually starting from. We went to the city center in Kotor and we were hungry, so we were looking for a shop where we could just eat some food and just relax because it was sunny outside. We eventually changed our minds and we didn't get anything because it was taking quite a while for the food to be ready, and I didn't have that patience because we had to catch the 5 o'clock bus back to Podgorica. Then we were like, okay, let's go and see if we can we get a spa where we can just, even if it's a few minutes, we could just, have a spa session. We already had the name already and we just had to find where it was. So we're using the Google map to locate the place. We walked into the Kotor Old City. We walked around trying to find the place. We found the place eventually, but we didn't book because there was no available slot for that day for the three of us. So we're like, we're going to just go for a spa session in Podgorica instead, since they had a studio there. So that was what we decided to do in the end, and yeah, it was okay. Since we couldn't attend our spa session for that day, we were like, let's go to a beach. But the beach was really expensive, just 30 euros. So we were like, no, we're not going to do this. So we just sat down while we were going to wait for our bus so we could go back to Podgorica. But that's all for day 4. So it's day 5 of our 5-day trip in Montenegro. And we just wanted to spend the whole day relaxing. We didn't want to do any activities. So we were like, let's go for the spa massage that we couldn't have the previous day. It was in a city center. So yeah, our driver took us to the city center and we already knew where the place was. So it was easy for us to get there. So this was on a Sunday afternoon, after attending Sunday service online. We got there, we were 3, so the first person went in and it was 55 minutes per session for 45 euros, which is lesser in pound. I think it was like 38 euros or something like that. So yeah, it was a full body massage and it was like a Thai massage. So they massaged our head, our hands, our feet, our face, every part of our body was massaged, our back, especially our back. Yeah, so you just wanted something that relaxed us before we went back to work and went back to the hustle and bustle of work. We waited for a while upstairs while we were waiting for our turn. This is the massage studio. This is the room where they were going to give two of us massage at the same time. Yeah. And the women they were older women and they were really professional. They were really nice. They tried to maintain our privacy at all times. They didn't expose anybody part that they shouldn't. And this was immediately after the massage that I could see me smiling because it was really relaxing. Gosh, I wish it could have just continued. The massage could have just continued, but it couldn't. So, I mean, good things don't last so long. So, but yeah, it was really an amazing experience. Then we went to Burger King after our spa session to get some milkshake and some food. And yeah, we're back in accommodation. That's all for day 5. So this is day 6 and we're going back to London. I woke up very early before 6 a.m. so I could go for a prayer walk. And then I saw this dog on the road who wanted me to pet it, but I wasn't sure the dog had baby, so I was just being careful because I didn't want to get bitten by a dog in this country. Yeah, then I was just, admiring the view, and then came back from my prayer walk and started praying. We had gotten to the airport here, and then we started the whole check-in process of trying to check in and all of that. It was easier and quicker than when we were coming to Montenegro. We had finished checking in at this point. We were just waiting for our plane to arrive so we could start our 3-hour journey back to London. This was when we were boarding the plane. I got 3 seats and no one was sitting with me, so I had lots of space to do things I wanted to do. I'd gotten dark because of how hot the sun was. And yeah, we were on our way. We were taking off at this point, and then we were in the air. We were still under Montenegrin sun. Yeah. Then, it was okay. Then we got to London. We're entering London at this time, and it's somehow the change in the weather. Yeah. Then our plane had landed. We disembarked from the plane. Then we're just going through the airport. It was a big. Gatwick Airport is quite big, and there were lots of us returning at the same time. So yeah. Then it was time to say our final goodbyes until we meet again. We took some pictures, and yeah, it was nice. We went our separate ways. Yeah, that's all for my 6-day trip in Montenegro. Thank you for watching.